by Dr. Wang Xiaoxiao. The title of the keynote is The Digital Transformation of Higher Education in China in the Past 10 Years. So please, Dr. Wang Xiaoxiao, the floor is yours.
Before that, allow me to introduce Professor Wang Xiaoxiao. She is Director of Online Education Center at Tsinghua University. She is also Secretary General of MOE's Research Center for Online Education, PRC, and Secretary General of Global MOOC and Online Education Alliance for Online Education People. We always see her giving talks around the world. So without further delay, please give her one more time a very big hand. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great honor to be invited to this conference, and I would like to share our practice and also to propose our potential collaborations with you about what we can do together in the near future. My topic today is a digital transformation of higher education in China in the past 10 years. Well, actually, we know that MOOC emerged in 2012, and China started to do this in 2013 with some prestigious universities started to explore it. And I would like to break down my content into 4 parts. And the first is a decade of MOOC development in China. I would like to give you a brief introduction about how government, universities, and platforms are working together to promote the spread and the application of MOOCs, and how it has been introduced in the higher education institutions for blended learning to improve the quality of the education. Well, I would like to give you some numbers first, and the total number of MOOCs offered by university nationwide has exceeded more than 60,000, and with a registered users base of 424 million, and the enrollment has reached over 1 billion because of the large population. And actually in 2015, the government was involved to support the creation of MOOCs. And one of the important tools they have been using is to accredit a group of national excellent open online courses, which is a very great stimulus for universities, especially faculties, to do the MOOC development. And also, different from the past experiences in stimulating the online education development before 2013 in China, the Ministry of Education promotes extensive application of open online courses, because before they find that they made a lot of videos of the courses, but the enrollment is quite low, like only maybe dozens of students visited the courses online before 2013, and now they focuses on how to integrate more students or audience for the videos they created. And actually in 2017 and 2018, there are hundreds of MOOCs have been accredited to be the national kind of golden online courses, national quality online courses. And in 2019, the Ministry of Education just launched the implementation opinions on the development of first-class undergraduate courses. Now it have like 5 kinds of first-class undergraduate courses, not only including the online MOOCs, but also the blended courses. And the MOE just encourage the faculties to use outside resources, especially the first-class online courses. This is very special and unique in China, because we have heard, many of us have heard that faculty are reluctant to use outside resources to kind of substitute themselves on campus. But in China, when we create so many online good courses, we try to promote faculties, especially in the middle and western parts of China, those from those remote areas, to use it to improve the quality. And their courses, even including the outside resources, can be recognized as the national first-class courses, which was a very great stimulus for those to use the other colleagues' resources. And the proportion of Chinese university teachers using blended learning through the use of MOOCs has increased from 1/3 before the COVID-19 pandemic to almost 85%. That is quite a lot increase, especially during the special condition in the pandemic. And the quality MOOCs in China are now widely and deeply integrated into the formal education and teaching system with universities, enhancing educational equity and quality. And you can see that with the blended learning, the pedagogy has changed from the before we have kind of broadcasting in the classroom, but now we have more discussion. We have changed the traditional broadcasting version into more interaction class teaching and learning. And as I mentioned, that the Ministry of Education tried to promote the widely use of MOOCs across the country, so they initiated a specific project which is called MOOCs to the West, and has basically covered universities in Western China. And let's take the 2022, for example, it provided 45,000 MOOCs to those universities, facilitating 1.7 million times of blended using learning in Western China, and actually has thousands of students take the MOOCs for credits also in Western universities of China, Western parts of universities in China. And it's very interesting that when the ministry encouraged the widely use of MOOCs across the country, we find that there is a net of faculty, the network has been established. For example, many of the teachers across China may use Professor Chiu's courses, and may integrate your courses into their blended learning, and there is a virtual network will come out. And so the ministry also created or launched the pilot program for virtual teaching and the research section. Well, the objective is to select 400 virtual teaching and research sections for pilot development, and the program aims to explore the standards, development approaches, operational models, and other aspects related to the development of new types of grassroots teaching organizations in the digital learning era, and try to connect the faculties who are using who are teaching the same courses and share the learning experiences together. So now the faculty capacity building research is not only in one specific university, but across the country in specific subjects. Well, in 2022, the ministry also launched the National Education Digital Transformation Strategy Action to emphasize, again, to re-emphasize the importance of digital learning, and to emphasize the importance of the development of high-quality digital learning resources. And you can see there are a lot of students are involved in these courses, in this kind of courses. And the second important role in the higher education digital transformation in China is university. Well, top universities have played a significant role in development of MOOCs and facilitating resources sharing, like Tsinghua University, Peking University, Shanghai Jiaotong, Fudan, all these kinds of top-tier universities started to explore the MOOC development in 2013, just 10 years ago. And you can see that in Tsinghua, we have developed around 450 MOOCs, and 1/3 of them are recognized as first-class online courses and have been applied in like more than thousands higher education institutions across the nation. And I would like to take one course, for example, like the principles of electric circuits. Well, this MOOC is warmly welcomed and widely applied in many universities in China, and there is a network of faculties has been established, which is called the Virtual Teaching and Research Section. And this kind of teaching and research section just facilitated collaborative efforts among these universities to drive educational reform and establish cross-school cooperative teaching and research based on online resources and technologies. And you can see there are lots of feedbacks from faculties from different universities. And like one professor from Harbin Institute of Technology mentioned, they often bring diverse perspectives and unique teaching approaches. So you can see faculties benefit not only the high quality resources, but benefit from the network of cooperative teaching. And I would like to introduce another very important role in our digital higher education is the platforms. Now in China, we have more than 20 online MOOC platforms. And I would like to introduce Xuetang X. Maybe you have heard of that. In terms of the registers, it is now the second largest in the world, I think because of our largest population, right? And in 2013, Xuetang X was launched, and for now it has like 116 million users and offers more than 7,000 MOOCs. Well, at the very beginning, the platform was created to support the development of free or affordable and accessible MOOCs to the not only China, but the whole world. At the very first beginning, most of the courses are Chinese, and there are a lot of people around the world who want to learn Chinese and Chinese courses. And another objective of the establishment of this platform is that we believe Tsinghua has top-tier teaching, and we also have very strong and a very strong computer science department, information science department, and these two sections could work together to improve the pedagogy and also the technology. We believe that technology should be applied in the classroom or by the faculties, and then they can help the technologies to evolve. So I think, to my knowledge, right now, Xuetang is the only one platform driven by university, right? Well, before there was edX, but then it was acquired by 2U, and now Xuetang is the only one in the world to have such a close relationship with the university. And at the very first beginning, Xuetang tried to explore international cooperation with global university and partners. Like it also had a very good cooperation with Thai MOOC and like K MOOC, edX, and etc. And in Well, actually, when I mentioned that one objective of creating our own platform is for innovation, that in 2016, we developed a smart educational technology called Ring Classroom, which tried to help teachers throughout the whole class to use to collect data and use the data to help faculty to learn more about students learning and themselves teaching behavior and the results. So the Ring Classroom in 2020, it won Technological Innovation of the Year, the awards Asia 2023 from Times Higher Education. And now the Ring Classroom has gathered 91.49 million users worldwide. And yeah, I would like to give a very short, brief introduction of the Ring Classroom, which yes, and Lao Tsinghua and Xuetang developed these smart teaching tools together, and we try to lead revolution in the classroom because we believe that faculty still plays the most important role in students' learning. When we, in the last presentation, we heard that well, the MOOCs or some digital resources or digital technologies might be the complementary to the classes, but how we can give faculties more power in using technologies during class, that what we were thinking during the past years. And it is very easy to use. It's just a small plug-ins in PowerPoint, and it helped to collect a lot of data. And before class, well, we will send short videos, MOOCs, through the phones, and also with audio explanations from the faculties. And in class, there will be live comments and anonymous feedbacks and in-class quizzes. And after class, they will also have the review MOOCs, well, through their cell phones and also other like laptops. And you can see we have a lot of data about the students' learning process. And we also try to do some other kind of innovation, like to use a Ring Classroom to turn every classroom into a birthplace of online courses. Well, we find that faculty often put a lot of efforts in creating MOOCs, which might be a very huge obstacle for more MOOCs could be used in residential education. Like Tsinghua University, we have 7,000 courses in university, but only like 450 MOOCs, not, well, just one-tenth of courses have been turned into MOOCs. So we try to find a much easier and cheaper way to create more digital resources to our students, and later maybe the outside learners. I will give you a brief introduction later about that. And we can find that students, the young generation, we call them the native, well, digital generation sort of, and they really like this kind of technologies during their learning in classroom. So with the MOOCs ahead of the class, and with smart learning technologies in class, they benefit a lot from the educational technologies. And with an overview of the decade of MOOC development in China, I would like to take Tsinghua, for example. Now, first of all, I would like to introduce a little bit about Tsinghua. You can find it's in the capital of China, in Beijing, and it was founded in 1911. And according to QS, this year and last year, Tsinghua ranked the top 20 in the world. And then welcome to Beijing and welcome to Tsinghua, of course. And well, in 2014, we have launched the document or the strategy that we believe proactively advancing online education initiatives is a strategic imperative for Tsinghua University as it looks towards the future. So at that time, we believe MOOC is a very important tool, but we also believe it's not it will be not the only future of the digital learning. There will be a lot of other tools emerge in the future, and we need to embrace the evaluation of technology. Now we have seen the generative artificial intelligence, and in the future we will see a lot of more effective and efficient tools, and which can be adopted into our teaching and learning. And yes, we have developed hundreds of MOOCs, and we try to, for our university, what we can make most of MOOCs to our residential education is also one of our objectives, is to introduce it into courses, to conduct blended learning, to change it into a more interactive circumstances for students and faculties. We know that in Asia, sometimes the classroom are very quiet, and we want to change this kind of environment with application of technology. And yeah, there are some cases of blended learning. You can tell from the picture that students learn MOOCs ahead of the courses, and in the classroom, the only thing they need to do is interact with peers, with faculties, and to do some works in the classroom. And well, we also find that, yeah, we would like to, then we came to the 2020, after the COVID-19 outbreak, the whole university shifted online. I think most of you have the same experiences, right? So we can see that the practice of MOOCs before 2020 played a very important role in for what we have, what we successfully shifted fully online, because faculties are not are familiar with online technologies and resources. And yes, and then during the COVID-19, we find that online learning is not something that's nice to have, but something we must have. So we often say that this 2 or 3 years experiences or practice help us complete like 10 years capacity building in digital learning if it hasn't happened, right? I think it's quite similar in most of our colleagues' institutions. And to our surprise, we find that we call this kind of, we call the using the educational technologies is kind of new normal, but how we verify that? Actually, we also collected data after the COVID. We find that faculty using the smart educational technologies 3 times higher than that before in Tsinghua University, and in other universities like 10 times. So we can see that faculty right now are very used to digital learning tools and resources, and which we believe is also another reason why this year faculties are so interested in generative artificial intelligence. Well, one reason is that the young generation are using it, right? The faculty needs to learn more about what they are doing and whether their homework are done by themselves. And another reason is that they're familiar or they're quite used to this during the pandemic. And well, as I mentioned just now, that we try to create a much cheaper and easier way for faculty to create online courses. We use live streaming, like we use a smart educational technology to live stream their classroom right away. And we can also provide this kind of resources to the outside learners. So we created the digital twin classroom clone classes. So anyone who are interested in this course could join the Ring Classroom clone class and join the digital interaction with faculty, and the faculty could also learn about their learning results. And during the pandemic, we use clone classes to support several universities in Wuhan. And then we find that many faculties from the remote areas or from other universities would like to join, like Tsinghua's classroom, to learn about their counterpartners, their colleagues teaching and learn pedagogy. So we just launched the higher education teachers hybrid learning continuing education program. Now we have hybrid education. We try to separate the two concepts, blended learning and hybrid learning. Blended learning, which means asynchronous. We use MOOCs or like other short videos, like all kinds of resources ahead of the simultaneous learning of teachers and students, so that which is called blended learning, and hybrid learning, which means that we have offline and online simultaneous. So now we have this hybrid conference, right? We have a lot of audience online, so we try to separate these two concepts. So in the classroom, we have a lot of faculties online also join in this classroom. And actually from last semester, from the 2022 fall semester, 2 semesters ago, we have 5,000 faculties across China to join our more than 20 courses for auditing the course, to learn about the pedagogy and to learn about how our teachers are using educational technologies. And then we, together with another 5 top universities in China, to work for like 10,000 faculties across the country. And we can tell that the faculties, the teachers from other universities benefit a lot from this kind of, we call this continuing education. Well, they mentioned that like the professor not only explained this knowledge thoroughly, but also provided interactive examples to explain it in a spoken language, which enlightened me. So it's kind of capacity through a actual classroom exhibition, sort of, with the utilization of educational technology. And you can see, they benefit from all kinds of subjects. And then I would like to introduce the International Global Cooperation of Global MOOC and Online Education Alliance. And in 2020, 17 universities and 3 platforms across 14 countries from 6 continents, we launched the Global MOOC and Online Education Alliance together. The secretariat is, the secretariat is at Tsinghua University, and we are very happy. It's also our great honor to have Thai MOOC to be one of our members. And you can see there are like edX, which you are quite familiar with, and many universities from other regions. Well, we focus on joint teaching, capacity building, knowledge sharing, and public advocacy. And every year we hosted annual conference to create a platform for experts, for administrators, policymakers, faculties to exchange perspectives on the development of online and digital learning. And we were very happy to have Tapani in our board meeting, in our board, and we hosted like board meeting annually. And in terms of the joint teaching, we launched Global Hybrid Classroom. Many of you might have heard of the virtual exchange during the pandemic. Students could study other universities' courses through online, and with a very low cost because there is no transportation and also no dormitory things or something like that. So it's very economy and very flexible and accessible, right? It's easy, just log on and to learn together. So we launched this kind of program within our alliance members. You can see that many universities are involved, and you can see from the pictures that students offline are interacting with those online. And we also believe that it is a very useful approach for more students to be involved in global study, because only few students can do exchange program every semester according to our university's competencies, right? Because we have limited room in university on campus, but we have a lot of room online. So now the program is very popular. Like you can find that students benefit a lot from this kind of very flexible learning pathway. And actually we also worked on to create the sort of the credentials for students to join the simultaneous teaching and learning. And in Tsinghua, we created 10 certificate programs for them to have sort of the systematic learning experiences in Tsinghua. And we also launched global open courses. We try to work with our members among the alliance to open some educational resources simultaneous both for online and offline students, and to focus on some topics which are quite popular among the young generation. And we also work with our members to have some certificate program. For example, the Russian language learning scholarship program with St. Petersburg University, and like the Cornell University's online certificate programs. And in terms of the joint teaching, we worked together, or we try to promote the collaboration between the Indonesia and the Xuetang X, and the Xuetang X together with more than 80 universities in China to provide quality educational resources to the Indonesian national platform, as they required from us. They also required from other platforms or universities. And we hosted their visit in Beijing, and we also together held a sort of symposium on digital transformation leading the change in higher education this June in Jakarta. And in terms of knowledge sharing and capacity building and also joint teaching, we also expand the global hybrid classroom cooperation with Indonesian universities, not only among our alliance members, but with outside members. And we also host a series of global online education dialogues to establish a platform for global communication and exchange among teachers, experts, educational managers, and leaders. And we were very happy to have Jean to join our online education dialogues, 1 year ago. And we would be very happy to welcome all our colleagues here to join our online education dialogues worldwide. And yes, this year we focus on the AI-driven digital transformation in higher education. It focuses on the trends and challenges of artificial intelligence in higher education. And we got a lot of participation and support from our international community in this field. And this year we also host the GMA. We launched the GMA Awards. We try to aim to showcase examples of STEM MOOCs, the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics courses that are enhanced by technology. And the winner will be announced in December in this 4th annual conference in Milan. And we would invite all the winners to share how their courses are built and were operated. Yeah, and we also believe that online is not only for learning, but also for working together, especially for young generation. So we launched this kind of online hackathon to help students, to support students learn together, learn MOOCs, and to work together to solve a common problem together, to join a project together. And this year we have this March and April, we worked with UPenn on the psychology, positive psychology topic. Students learn the MOOCs ahead of the online cooperation, and then they work in groups and moderated by faculties and teaching assistants from UPenn and Tsinghua to solve the kind of a problem together. And in terms of the public advocacy, we also work on the report on the digital development of global higher education. This year, we are working on the technology trends of digital learning, and would like to publish it in this December. In our last year's report, we just call a global action to promote the online education together. Last but not least, I'm here to just share what our practices and also our prospects for cooperation. When I mentioned about the joint teaching, capacity building, knowledge sharing, and public advocacy, we really wish all the colleagues here to join us to build a global learning community together. And we could include all stakeholders in this field, in higher education field, and we could work on the global hybrid classroom together to promote students' global understandings, and we could promote MOOCs exchanges together through platforms, and we could do webinars together to exchange our perspectives, and we could also have online, offline faculty capacity building workshops together, because all our faculty are facing similar challenges, and we could host student challenges, student online challenges together. And we are also welcome students from Thailand university and all other countries' university to join online, to work together virtually, and to learn from each other, to create a global learning community together. So that's my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's very interesting sharing that we hear from Dr. Wang Xiaoxiao, right? And then I think it's now the time from the floor to give some further discussion, comments, and questions, please.
Okay, please.
All right. Thank you for very nice presentation for us. I'm a director of Japanese MOOC, JMOOC. So we are just interested in the Chinese situation right now. So I have two questions for
Sure.
how is introducing to the AI technology to the MOOC in China, and we have just interesting credit or transferring credit in between the university, even the worldwide transfer to the credit. So do you have any credit bank system or credit digital certification in the China?
Okay, well, let me answer your first question. Thank you very much. Very good questions. Well, now we are trying to integrate generative artificial intelligence into our MOOCs and also our real-time class. Like, as I just reported that we have Ring Classroom that collected a lot of data, and now we are training the generative artificial intelligence with all the data from MOOCs and our Ring Classroom, the real class data. So we try to implement teaching assistants into MOOCs and our real-time classroom, like in the Ring Classroom. So now we are working on that. And sir, your second question, may I have your second question again? Sorry.
All right. Do you have any credit bank system, or how can I manage the credit to transfer to the each university?
Credit, right?
Credit.
Oh, credit, I see. Given in terms of the global hybrid classroom?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that is very interesting. We paid a lot of efforts in doing, working on that at the beginning of 2021. We started at that time. And we just like the courses between Tsinghua. I will take the courses between Tsinghua and Nanyang Technological University, for example. We provide the assessment and the whole course information to NTU, and they will have a group of faculty to assess whether the assessment is qualified, and according to their school's criteria, and they will give us response whether they could recognize the credit, and we can just give the students the transcript, and the credit can be recognized in NTU. And in Tsinghua, we have the same way of recognizing the credits. So it really needs a kind of academic assessment by the credit recognition university. Thank you. Well, I would also like to add that before the generative artificial intelligence, we use the big data to help us understand how students are learning, because we have very large class, like 200, 300, or 100. It's very difficult for faculty to interact with students to get to know how they learn about the concepts or any other things. But with this kind of digital interaction, the faculty can get immediate response from the students, whether they understand or not. So it's a very, we just apply this kind of AI into the big data analysis into the teaching and learning. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, any more questions from the floor, please? We have a few online waiting.
Sure.
Okay, maybe you can show the online screen, please. Thank you so much. Thank you for the photos and all the questions. In here, right now, we have two questions for you, Professor Wang. By the way, your talk has given us hope for better education, and your surname Wang in Thai means hope. What a good surname. So the first question is, how can MOOCs be improved to democratize education?
Okay, great. Well, I find that the evaluation of educational technologies are helping to democratize education all the time. Well, MOOCs help support many students to learn the materials by themselves, any places, anywhere, anytime. So it's a kind of democratize, right? And well, currently we have the generative artificial intelligence. Well, this is also a huge challenge for our residential education. For example, before, ahead of the classroom teaching, face-to-face teaching and learning, students have to watch the videos like the MOOCs for the preview of the course, and then they will bring questions to the classroom and discuss with their peers and faculties. But now, if they can get the answers ahead of the time from ChatGPT or other GAI tools, then what should they bring into the classroom, right? And what should we faculties do in the classroom? So that is a huge challenge. That is also another way to show how new technology democratize education, right? Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now, second question. It is very interesting to see the transformation from the past 10 years. What would you anticipate in the near future?
Well, I'm very positive about all this kind of change or challenges, because that I find that technology leaves us more room to think about the real meaning of education, to think about our past 100 traditional ways of education. So I find that learners have more opportunities and more ways to learn more efficient and more effective. So I believe that technology will make education or make people's learning more exciting.
More exciting is the keyword. Thank you so much.
You're
Any
welcome.
more questions from the floor, please? Okay, over there, please, Professor Villa. Microphone, please, over there, please.
You mentioned many times about the Gen AI. So just wonder whether you are developing your own generative AI systems, I mean the Chinese version, or are you going to use ChatGPT or Bard?
Thank you very much. Well, now China there are a lot of enterprises are working on generative artificial intelligence in China right now. I think that must be the same situation in every country, because all the companies find this is this is a very important field to work on. And now we're as a university, we're also facing the challenge to figure out which company we're going to work with, because educational data is quite important, and we also need to figure out, because that the policymakers, students should also be involved in the discussion. We can lead the faculty to use some specific tools, but we cannot do that to students. You must understand that. So now we are working with a lot of companies currently to figure out what features they have and how they can help to protect the students' data. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Any more questions, please? Okay, over there, please.
Yeah, please.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. My name is Suryandi. I'm from Bina Nusantara University in Indonesia. If I'm not wrong, you stated about the digital twins on your MOOCs. Can you share a bit how you combine the MOOCs with the digital twins frameworks? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I would like to elaborate. The digital twin is used for our synchronous courses, like this kind of conference. It's not for MOOCs, but when we have the offline session, we would like an online session simultaneous. Well, if we open this conference to if we open, if the faculty permit to open the courses to the whole world, so which means that all universities can be permitted to join, we just try to attract those who are interested in the courses. Those people include faculties and students. We find that faculties benefit a lot because we cannot avoid faculties in other universities. So we just use this kind of framework for our middle and western part of China's faculty capacity building continuing education program. So that is what we have been doing right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, there was, before there was also the lady on the back that raised her hand. Do you want the question? And then we have one more here
and then
too.
This gentleman.
Thank you very much for your presentation. It was really inspiring. I would like to ask about generative AI. When you mentioned that we are in a progress of development, do you actually let the students use ChatGPT, and do you allow them? And what do you think the approach is to maximize and benefit from generative AI like ChatGPT?
Yeah, and well, currently our university hasn't launched any policy yet on this point or guidelines, because we find it's still a little bit blurred, but we permit students, in terms of specific courses, we permit them to use it, but it varies from teachers. Some teacher will ask them to cite that you use it in your paper, and some teachers will say that we will change the examination. Well, before it's maybe the coding homework or examination is in the dormitory, but now it might be in the classroom, and they will try to separate different kinds of homework and try to change a little bit the assessment. So it's permitted. The using of the generative artificial intelligence tools is permitted in my university, but it varies. The way of using it is different across faculties, and we believe that is also the faculties' rights to choose how they can permit or ask the student to use it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And gentleman over here, please.
Thank you. This is Ali from UCL, Institute of Education, London. I have conducted research in MOOCs in terms of promoting education in developing world. So my question is, how do you see MOOCs as a transformative tool to promote education in developing world, despite the fact that there are a lot of technical issues, as well as there is hegemony of education that must be offline, face to face. So how do you see both? One is going in isolation in the online world, there's offline world. So how we can connect the both in terms of promoting education as a whole? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, China has paid a lot of efforts in integrate the MOOCs into continuing education for lifelong learning, and also the formal education, like in the universities, as I mentioned. So given the first way, we try to provide more resources for adults, and that they can use them as they want. And in terms of the integrating it into higher education, to formal education, to make most of the resources, we just applied blended learning, and we have a selection of the top national blended learning courses, and faculties are very interested in this because this has a very close relation to their promotion in the university. So we have several policy tools to encourage different stakeholders to use them. So so that's how China are using MOOCs to solve the problems like to promote, to improve educational equity, like to ask the teachers or students in the remote areas to use them, and that they will get sort of awards of using them. Thank you.
Wow. Any more questions? This is getting interesting. So many questions from the floor. Okay, if not, then please join me to give her a big hand again. Thank you so much, Professor Wang. You surely give us hope. Oops.
Okay, thank you. So what's next?
May I
Ajahn Shah?
have my computer screen, please?